Okay, let's look at getting the data set that you downloaded into Microsoft Excel. So what I've got here in the background is I've got a blank Microsoft Excel worksheet open. And in the foreground, I've got a standard Windows Explorer window open with the data set that I downloaded. Now, this data set is in a text format given by this .txt file extension here. And what we want to do is we want to be able to get this inside of Microsoft Excel. So first and foremost, you want to know where exactly this data file is stored on your computer since you downloaded it. And this particular one is in this downloads directory of mine. So that's where I'm going to be going. So yeah, I'm ready to import this into Microsoft Excel. So to do so is pretty simple. You just go to the Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, click on File, and just open it like you would any other file. And then it's going to ask you, for the file that you want to open. I would choose Browse. And now you can, kind of browse your computer and click on your directory structure, to find the data file itself. So I know I had stored mine in the downloads directory. So, there I am clicking on coasters, or I'm sorry, clicking on downloads, and then there's my data file. So now with my data file selected, I can just click open. All right, and this is going to start Microsoft Excel's text import wizard, and it's got several steps. So for this one where it says original data type, just leave it as delimited. And I believe these data files, it gives, yeah. So if you look down here at the bottom, this is kind of giving you like a preview of what the data looks like. And you can see the very first row of data, it says name, park, track, speed, height, drop length, duration, and inversions. Okay, these are random variables in your data set. So these are what are called headers in a spreadsheet. So I'm going to click this button here that says my data has headers. So, a header just kind of gives a label to each column of data in the spreadsheet. Your data file will be different than mine, so your headers will be different. But if you notice that you've got a row of headers on the top, make sure that you click that checkbox. All right, so now all we need to do is we can leave everything else here at its default and just click next. Okay, now it's going to say this screen lets you set the delimiters your data contains. You can see how your text is affected in the preview below. So a delimiter is a keystroke that separates different random variables per record of data. So right now it's set as a tab delimiting. So it looks for tabs, keystrokes that are separating each random variable. And you can see, this tab delimiter is working very well because this is the first random variable, which is the name of a theme park. And then you can see names of theme parks directly below it. And then next, it says park. So that's the label or the random variable for the next column. And you can see it's actually got the parks: Cedar Point, Six Flags, Magic Mountain, Cedar Point, Six Flags, Magic Mountain. And that's all in this column. So that looks good. The track, whether it's steel or wood, then speed, and it's got speeds of the roller coasters, heights of the roller coasters, drop length or drop height. That's this number here, and length, and so on. And you can kind of scroll right and left to see if you have more columns, you can kind of take a look at those. So this looks really good. Let me choose a different delimiter. and I'll show you maybe what bad looks like. Okay, so this is not good. You can see, even though I've got different random variables, I'm not seeing them separated here in this preview. And if I were to choose another delimiter like comma, that's not working either. If I choose space, space looks like it's working, but it's not working because you can see here, first is the name of the roller coaster, and it says, top Superman Millennium, but you scroll over, what are these other columns? The data looks really mixed up and it doesn't look clean. So choosing space as a delimiter is not a good option here. But if we click back on tab again, everything looks much better. So this tab delimiter is going to be the best one that we're going to use. So once your data looks good, like this, you've had a chance to preview it, then hit next. Okay, now this last step, you can actually kind of tell Microsoft Excel, what kind of data is this? So, a general data type converts numeric values to numbers, data value or date values to dates, and all remaining values to text. You can just leave it at general. I think that will be good enough. So then we'll hit finish. And now you can see as soon as I hit finish, all right, so it opened up a new window. I'm not sure you're seeing that, so let me share it. Okay, so this is the new Microsoft Excel spreadsheet that I get. And you can see it's called coasters 2015.txt. So the very first thing you're going to want to do at this point is to save it in an Excel format. Okay, an Excel format is not in like a text format. So I would just click a save button. For me, it's here. Your save button may appear, maybe up here, or you can click the file menu. Let me see here. Click that. Sorry, or you can click the file menu right here and go down to save. Oh, let me do that again. Let me do save as. That's better. And I'm going to click browse. This will allow me to put it somewhere where I know it's at. So I'm going to put it in my downloads directory. And right here where it says save as type, and it says text tab delimited, change it to Excel workbook or this .xlsx file format. And you'll notice that it changed the file name extension here to .xlsx. And what I want you to do is I want you to also name this file with something that will be meaningful. So because this is the fall semester in 2023, put fall 23, and then underscore, and then let's do math 110, that's the class we're in, and then put your name first and last, and then maybe put PROJ for project, underscore, and then maybe the next part of it could just be kind of like the name of the data set, and then click save. Okay, and you'll see up here, at the top, the name of your file is now fall 23, math 110, with your first and last name. This is your student project. For me, the data set was Coasters 2015, and it's .xlsx. Again, you want to make sure that you save it in this Microsoft Excel format, because as we're doing things with your data, you won't be able to save it unless it's in an Excel format. If it's still in a text tab delimited format, it's going to give you an error message. So let's just save it as an Excel spreadsheet and we'll be fine. If you've never used Microsoft Excel before, you'll notice it looks like we have our columns nice and neat, but they look cut off. And a quick little trick you can do to expand the width of this column is just to put the cursor on the line between these two columns, like I'm doing right here, and then left click twice. And it'll automatically resize the width of the column for the record that has the largest width. So if I scroll down, okay, there's the name of a roller coaster that's pretty wide. But here's the one that it resized the whole column to. It resized it to this one. Okay. And I can scroll back up. And I can do the same thing with the next column. So if I put my cursor between columns B and C, and you can see the cursor changes to what looks like a vertical bar with two arrows left and right, and I double click the left mouse button, it'll resize it. I can do that with the others, and some it'll make smaller, some it'll make bigger. Okay, so that in a nutshell is how to import your data file into Microsoft Excel.